Shut up and sit down.
It's where the big boys play. SICW.
Welcome to Spread Read Podcast, everybody. Episode number 84. We had a big weekend. Well, Jim and Bobby had a bigger weekend than me. Your tag team match. It was the captain's match, or the captain's flag match. For tell everybody what exactly was it for, Jim?
It was to create the stipulation for the big match on the 23rd to decide who is going to own and run SICW.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so you had it was Gary Jackson versus Attila Khan, and they both had a captain. You know, Gary Jackson's was Danny Boy, and Stephen E was for Attila Khan. And the whole objective of the match is they had a flag or a towel, and if they felt that their counterpart, whether it be Attila or Gary Jackson, couldn't go any further, that they would start waving this flag or towel. And whoever won the match got to pick a stipulation for the match on the 23rd, which is basically our big show. Is the grand finale for the year, because everyone knows we're taking the month of December off. So this is going to be the big match. You know, it's going to be Attila Khan and Haku and the Barbarian versus Gary Jackson, Danny Boy, and Ron Powers. So I don't know. Do you have the end of their match, or do you just have what happened on afterwards?
I have everything, but I isolated the outside match because that's where it starts to get bloody, and I know our viewers are as horrible as we are and like the blood, so that's what I put. But also, we always constantly talk about how SICW is above and beyond the other promotions just because of the type of events that you guys get to do and the people you guys get to be in contact with, just like Attila, or not Attila, but Haku and the Barbarian, but also Worldwide Tech and the things you guys got to do with that. We have an interview with Herb Simmons and Chris Blair, the Executive Vice President and General Manager of Worldwide Tech Raceway, doing a quick little interview. And Herb's going to be giving you some information coming up on the 20th.
Wrestling fans, here we are at the beautiful Belle Fairgrounds in Belleville, Illinois, where we're bringing you the best in live professional wrestling. I've got a very special guest with us here tonight. You met him here a few months back, and I'm talking about Mr. Chris Blair from Worldwide Technology Raceway. Chris, thanks for coming out again tonight.
Oh, it's great. We got to see ladies wrestling. That was incredible. It's been good so far. You've seen Bobby D and Big Texan win.
Great night. And, fans, for you who maybe just be joining us on each and every Sunday night on YouTube, Chris is with like I said, Worldwide Technology Raceway, and we had the honor of tag teaming up with them this year, and what a blast that was, I'm telling you. I know you're still getting good feedback about that.
We're getting feedback. It was surprising the people that we're getting feedback from. I mean, drivers who contacted us.
One more special shout out
we're going to do it again.
to the lovely
All the
lady
fans
here.
loved
Her
it. So
name is Mindy.
if you're in, we're in.
She's Brandon Beretta's aunt.
This is where Dr. Drew starts talking over everybody, and I have to tell him to be quiet so we can continue with the interview.
As we know, SICW in the future hangs in the balance of what happens on November the 23rd, right back here at the big hall at the Belleville Fairgrounds, when WWE and WCW legends, I'm talking about Haku, the Barbarian, and Attila Khan team up to take on the All-American SICW team of Ron Powers, the Night Train Gary Jackson, and Danny Boy Hawkins. We'll find out then if I'll be able to work with you, or you'll have to deal with Stephen E.
I'm dreading that. You guys better win.
So be here on November 23rd and cheer us on. So SICW at Worldwide Technology Raceway can bring you the best in racing and wrestling in 2025. We'll see you in a little bit. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Well, that's kind of cool. So we already know we're going back there.
Yep, in the big room.
if Stephen E wins, he did not seem as confident about bringing us back, it sounded like.
Well, that's true. So we've already been told that we're on the cutting, chopping block if Stephen E's team wins. The likes of me and Bobby and Gary Jackson and Danny Boy, we're going to get cut. And, it won't be the first time we got cut from any organization. Probably won't be the last time either. So,
cut a few times.
Right. But, I have all the faith in the world with Ron Powers, with Danny Boy, and with Gary Jackson. Those guys, you're talking about how cool and him being the dangerous man and the barbarian being another one. But man, Ron Powers is right up there with them. And I've been in the ring with Ron. All three of those guys, Ron, Gary, and Danny Boy, and they can bring it. So, whatever, the faces of death or fear or whatever they're trying to go by now, can throw at them. I'm sure they'll just push right back through. But,
I'd say I'm hopeful that you're right. But with the ring, yes, Ron is as vicious as they get. And Danny Boy has heart for days, but man, they've got some ring rust on them. It's been a long time since we've seen them in a ring.
Right. And I know Haku and the Barbarian is still on the circuit, so they've been continuing to wrestle. But and I know that not to say it's like riding a bike, but it comes back. And Danny Boy's been in and out of the ring here the last few months. So the only one that might have the ring rust would be Ron. But he's been doing martial arts and he's not doing it like competition-wise, but he's doing it, is what I heard. So it should be interesting. And that's why he's slendered down, too, is, they don't like to keep the weight on. They like to get the slender, muscular, body to be able to do all that stuff. So it's definitely going to be a match to show up to. But if you got some footage, we'd like to see it, because I haven't seen this match.
All right, we'll get into some of the blood, and then we can skip through where you guys can skip through. Folks.
What do you say? No. No. No flag. Danny.
You'll hear a bit of Stephen E and a bit of Danny Boy, John in the background.
There's that lurch of a woman standing over there. Did you just see how she towered over Gary as they walked by each other?
Right.
Looking down. But Herb calls her the Amazon.
She might be from the Amazon. We don't know much about her.
Here coming up, we're going to see the likes of what a telecom really is.
Come on, Gary. Come on. Show it.
A little bit of golden fork.
Come on, Gary. Hey, what are you saying? Come on, Gary. No. Come on, Gary.
This wasn't no disqualification match, wasn't it?
Yeah. The only way to win is for your representative to throw in the towel, basically.
That's why he's being so blatant with the blade or with the fork.
Yep, that's why you don't see a count out either.
If Gary does something up here I wouldn't have done, but Danny's about ready to take out of that chair and run. See, now he's all bloody, and then he takes a bite and spits the blood out. I don't think I would have been taking a bite.
Well, maybe he wanted to see if it tastes like. He might want to see if it tastes like Mongolian beef.
That is true. I mean, we call him the vampire for a reason, but damn.
I can't say much either. There's pictures of me doing the same thing. So
I have video of you doing the same thing. How far did you want to go? Did you want to go to the end? What did you want to see? What's going on?
Yeah, I want to see the end.
I heard about the end, but I'd like to see it.
All right, let's start it off. We got to reset it and then start it up when they get back in the ring, yeah?
You better wave that flag when the time's
You guys need to commentate. No dead air.
We're fans right now, Nathan. You've already seen this match. You should be
several times.
Yeah. You talk about it for us so we can enjoy it.
I don't know the name of the moves. Just make them up.
Yeah, make them up.
The photographer Andy, you know he's vibrating with all that beef hitting the ground.
Well, she is standing on the ground, reaching over the top rope.
Come on, she was giving him a massage.
I'm not even getting into the move. I'm saying how tall she is.
Yeah. There's Miss Hyde coming out. Run, cameraman, run. You guys already locked a little girl-on-girl action. There you go.
All right. For everyone who doesn't know, they actually had a match prior to this match. And it was a very physical, like, brutality of a match. And I guess Miss Hyde did not take that match lightly. So she came out to attack her since she was getting involved into this match.
And we will have the girls' match a little bit later. Little elbow drop.
There you go. So you know it.
Although he's going to wind it up and drop it like it's hot there.
Maybe his Mongolian beef wasn't spicy enough. Little tenderizer going on. I like Gary's motocross shin pads there.
Now, I'll tell you, he's got a super hard head, so I know that hurts.
Well, that should help his TMJ.
I've seen the aftermath of him breaking noses with that head.
I've had my nose broke several times.
You go to Western area, it'll be another.
Nah. I think he's grabbing full beard on that one.
No big deal. You gotta do what you gotta do. This is for the company.
No disqualification. He can grab full beard. A little bit of spinal adjustment.
See, if I was Gary, I would already known that there was going to be a fork involved. So I would have like
spoon,
the butter knife, the spoon, all hidden in my gear too. So,
or a spork.
Or yeah, spork.
Spork would be good.
But it would have to be one of those metal ones, not one of those cheap plastic ones.
Yeah, like a grapefruit spoon.
Right.
There's our action cameraman's propensity to focus on butt cheeks.
Didn't he train the
does what he
cameraman?
Here comes Sugar Gary. Sugar Ray Gary.
Nathan, didn't you train the cameraman? He did SICW.
I talk to him
That's
every
hard to
day,
say.
including this day, saying, don't get so many butt cheek close-ups, and you see how it works. Another Sugar Ray. Sugar Ray Gary. Swan
Was
dive.
that Stephen E. that got him?
Yeah.
Making that boxing reference, I'm excited to see that boxing match between Jake Paul
Right,
and
here comes,
Tyson.
yeah, here comes Danny Boy. There's the wave, waving the flag. That counts.
Hey, I'll take it.
So was it as climactic as you wanted, or a bit anti?
A win's a win.
Right.
I was really hoping to see Steven get a little head rearranging from Attila. You know how the Kongs are.
So did they go ahead and announce what the stipulation was, or?
Danny Boy gave it to Herb to announce, and they did it.
Okay.
You have to do is just wipe the slate clean and take the money, Herb. 51 years of promoting and saying this doesn't mean nothing to these people. These people want to see Stephen E. They want to see the Saudi investors.
One of my dear good friends here on November the 23rd, and I think it's only fitting, since you like to get involved all the time, that you be handcuffed to the ace cowboy Bob Orton.
So that's the stipulation. Stephen E. has to be handcuffed to Cowboy Bob Orton.
There we go. So we have a legend on our side now.
To do whatever is necessary to keep you from interfering in that match.
I think Bob can handle that task.
Right.
Let's just take a step back for a second.
Especially when Bob hears no limit. Do whatever you have to keep him under control.
And you want to drink the drink with
Well, we saw Bob last week handle 2 actual wrestlers, so he should be able to handle manager.
Right.
I would really like to see Cowboy bring out that old cast.
Well, how's the handcuff going to fit on a cast?
Hands up on the other one. Reach him in.
They want to see Stephen E. They want to see the Saudi investors. Take this place to new levels.
There's only one thing that these fans want to see. My dear wife right here. Right now, the Gary Jackson thing the other night, and I think every fan in this building only wants to see you hit the damn rail and get out of town.
I don't remember if it was an interview Stephen E. was doing or some sort of promo that he was doing, but the guy, a little crazy because he said that he was going to keep the name SICW, but he was going to call it the Saudi Arabia Championship Wrestling. I'm thinking, you idiot. Saudi Arabia. Arabia starts with an A. How can it be an I? But
he's creating a new country. It's going to be Arabia.
Like Iberia, Saudi Arabia.
Right.
Who cares for Stephen E?
Something tells me Stephen E. doesn't care about anything except for a belt.
So,
in case you're missing out, little Danny Boy butt cheeks for you. Some Gary butt cheeks for you.
Jackson's rules. And all that nonsense that he talks.
And yes, everybody, it's raw footage. It hasn't been edited. That comes later.
that's fine. So you can go ahead and mute it. So I just want to kind of go over what that match is going to imply now. So on one side, you got Haku and the Barbarian and Attila Khan. I'm sure Lilith Khan is going to be out there. But on the other side, you're going to have Gary Jackson, Ron Powers, and Danny Boy. But now you're going to have Stephen E. handcuffed to the ace Cowboy Bob Orton. So, I mean, that, to me, that's going to be a great time there because you got legends of SICW going against legends of wrestling all together. But, you know, it's legends on both sides now. So I think that's fantastic. So that's November the 23rd. Like I said, that's going to be our big show. They call it, well, some people call it the blow-off show, but that's going to be like jam-packed, the show of the year, you know, for SICW. And it comes down to it, too, because, you know, if you got, you know, Stephen E's crew that wins, Herb is going to sell the company to Stephen E. But on the flip side, if Gary Jackson or Ron Powers wins, Danny Boy wins, then I don't think they're going to get kicked out of the organization. But Herb is not going to sell SICW, and it's going to be, you know, going to be retained by the Simmons family, which, you know, that's what I want. I'm sure that's what Bobby wants. So, you know, that's what we're all wanting. So hopefully we can get that done. But I do want to throw out some other matches that we know because we got told over the weekend that, you know, it might be due to our win in that tag match, but we kind of got some matches of ourselves on the 23rd. I've got my return match finally, my Claws match going against Kowalski for the classic title. So this is my my chance to get my belt back. And I tell you, this is my birthday month. And I can't think of a better present to give myself than get my classic title back. And then we got Bobby with a chance to get his title back. Go ahead, Bobby. What's your match?
Well, I would like to say it's my return match, but, you know, he's lucked his way out of a couple other times facing Glenn Williams for my rematches for the Central States title. And we're going to see how far that luck can go. It's a 2 out of 3 falls with Glenn Williams and myself. So we'll see if he can get lucky twice in one night.
Yeah, see, that's going to be the thing. You know, he might have got lucky with the cage match because you punched him and he just happened to fall through an open door.
Well, it wasn't open when I punched him. Trent opened it.
Right. That's what I'm saying. He got lucky, but can he get lucky twice? That's going to be the thing. You know, 2 times.
All the girls from his past would tend to say no.
But yeah, so that's 3 great matches that's going to happen on the 23rd. More matches to be announced. You know, we're only slightly less than 3 weeks away from that show. So it's going to be in the big room at the fairgrounds. You know, it's the same thing applies. It's, you know, doors open at 6, show starts at 7. But we're expecting a full house, so definitely, you know, call the hotline and get your tickets reserved.
And it was announced also on Saturday that Herb added 8 more tables on ringside for people to get. You can call the number or go to sicw.org. They're $250 a piece. 8 more were added, and last time I checked, they were going quick.
Oh yeah. You know, these are tables that probably some of them have been sold already because they go quick because they know that one, all these legends are going to be in the house, and plus with the company on the line, I mean, God, you know, this is going to be the show to watch. But yeah, back to Saturday though. So me and Bobby, we, like I said, we had a tag match. It was me and Bobby versus Rough Cut Rick Ruby and Sean Barnes. It was very meat heavy in this match. You know, you got Rick Ruby is probably 450. You know, I'm right there, right at 400. You know, Bobby was probably the smallest guy in this match. Well, not probably. He was the smallest guy in this match.
At 280.
Yeah, but you and Richard Shaw, I mean, he looks like he's in pain over there, like he's having a heart attack.
Well, I was trying to give him one. At this point in the match, you know, we're probably good, you know, 5-6 minutes into this match by now. And, you know, he had tried to back me in the corner a couple times and got some stuff off on me. But at this point, I think, is when I, like, just kept going at him and just chop after chop after chop. So, yes, it was a bad night to be Rick Ruby. And, you know, so you got the technical guy, which is Bobby, who can out wrestle you. But you know, Richard Shaw.
I'll fix it.
Richard Shaw. You know, like I said, I got him really damn good. And yeah, so if you got some filmed show, let's see it, because
see it. It's on. There's the Red Rooster, Belleville edition. Have you guys done that finisher before?
A couple times.
Right. Now with that one, I don't know if you've seen it, but as I threw the clothesline, my force, my momentum just took me to the outside. You know, that's why I'm on the outside of the ring and Bobby's, you know, on the inside raising his hand.
When I do the edit to get it all together, it'll go in between the two and show you going.
But yeah, so we did. You know, most people have come up to us and said it was a great match. You know, me and Bobby's worked together so many times that we were able to pull off a few things. We did a double suplex to Rick Ruby. We, you know, kind of come up with this, like, shooting it off with a, you know,
double
like
chop.
a double chop type thing. And we were able to get that on Shaw. And you know, it was a pretty decent match. And, of course, we got the victory. So it was even a better match in my eyes. But besides that, I think you got some film footage of the first singles match of that Amazon Leather Con.
Yeah, we got the Amazon and the surgery. How long has it been since we've had a singles female match?
Well, normally we have them at the MAC, so it's probably been a whole year, I think, since we had, because I think last year at the MAC, not this year, but last year at the MAC, James Jeffrey's wife wrestled, and I think, God, who did she wrestle against?
She had like that spider name or something.
Yeah, and I mean, so it's been over a year. You know, local female wrestlers are kind of hard to come by. Most of the time, when you're a female wrestler and they know that you're good, you immediately get, not immediately, but most of the time, if like a WWE guy or a TNA or AEW guy sees them, they put them into their system.
Turn the volume down a little bit so you don't have to try and yell over.
That's fine. But did you notice that she came out with, even though this is a singles match, she still has her head covered up? those rules that those women have to live by over there are just crazy.
How come you didn't get on there and get your little tickle, Bubby? Come on.
I heard that's what excited you, Nathan.
Hey, everybody likes to rub now and then.
Now, no one knew, but in the crowd that night, ACW's champion was in the crowd. Justin is his name, and he was out there watching the show.
Introducing first, accompanied to the ring by the Merchant of Violence.
Just different, promotions that SICW works with. Last month, we had Shaft. He was in the crowd. This month we actually had two different promotions in the crowd this month. We had one of the guys from New Breed Wrestling in the crowd, and then, like I said, the champion for ACW in the crowd.
Makes her way to us from Skull Canyon, Arizona. Ms. High.
Wasn't Shaft from New Breed?
No, Shaft is actually from MMWA, South Broadway.
South Broadway, gotcha.
Yeah,
old stomping grounds.
Yeah, old stomping ground.
Like, Shaft's one of those guys where it might not always be, I guess, like their company's message, but he's going to tell you what he thinks, and he's going to be genuine with you, and you can respect that. So no matter what all the other drama is, he's going to keep it real with you. That's what I'm trying to say.
So far, the two Lilith Khan matches I've seen, she's never waited for the bell. She's an ego girl.
She's still a rookie. She's excited to fight.
Well, she probably gets that from her daddy anyway.
A little overzealous.
Got to work off that jet lag somehow. She flips the hair a lot in this match.
Well, if you had hair that long, you'd understand it was in your face.
I wouldn't know anything about that.
It could actually be a rookie mistake to do that, though, because, you bend down like that to flip your hair back, you might get caught in something. Something she'll probably learn in the future.
That's not even a stretch for her. She's so damn tall.
No, her leg was still below 90 degrees.
Yeah.
Miss Hyde ain't afraid to fire back, though.
No. I mean, Miss Hyde
she has to jump up every time.
Miss Hyde, she was trained by, one, by her dad, but two, she was down in King's and Tom Pritchard's academy. So she's been trained, and, she was even a women's champion before, too, so.
You got that Khan head drop signature for them.
Yeah, except for she drops a little bit higher than he does.
Now, Miss Hyde is known for working the arm a lot. She does this move from the top rope, and we might see it here. It might be coming up.
I've watched all the matches so many times that they blend in for me.
I remember watching it. Yes, she does do it.
So, I mean, this is something that's like Wrestling 101. You pick apart a body part and you stay with it. You beat them down until they can't use that body part anymore. This is the move that I was talking about here. You know, so she beats up on that arm for quite a bit, and then she drops her full weight down on it. You really can't pick like a winner right now because they're both, you know, going at it pretty strong.
Nice little forearm shiver.
Hey, and no one's going down with it either, so they're standing toe to toe. So you can't, even though the ref should probably start counting or breaking it up or something.
He's a fan too.
Yeah. There
I
he
heard
goes.
that the
Now he's
refs are
finally
getting
trying
lost in
to.
the action.
Oh.
A little bit of Stephen E. interference,
Uh,
disqualification bell.
that's actually her finisher there. She does that elbow drop. Got that running and that high jump to it.
4 minutes, 5 seconds. Referee Nick Rydell has disqualified both.
In the NFL, that'd be taunting.
Did he say disqualified both of them?
Yeah.
Yep, they both hit him.
You know what? I don't have to do nothing. She listens to me, Jack. I don't care what you say. Right here's the winner.
I tell you, you know, she's becoming this vicious person that you got to watch out for. And even the guys got to watch out for her because she's, you know, constantly in the corner of, you know, Attila Khan or Peyton Ayers. So even if you're focused on your opponent, you still have to have kind of like one eye in the back of your head to kind of watch out. And like we've seen earlier tonight, you know, she was able to stand on the floor, reach over the top rope, and I gave, man, I can't talk. I gouge or choke, you know, Gary Jackson. So definitely a little force to be reckoned with. But yeah, so it was a very good show Saturday. You know, we still had like matches from, you know, Brandon Beretta versus Kowalski. You know, they had the classic title on the line. And you know, one thing,
He had a great spine buster on Kowalski during that too.
yeah. So I mean, it was a good match from there. I think was Jason Breed had a match. Oh, he wrestled Waco that match. Let's see, I'm trying to think of all the matches. You had Curtis Wilde and his tag team partner Billy. Of course, they're the tag
Trent
champions.
and Glenn.
Yeah, versus unfortunately, Glenn Williams and Trent Daniels. And that was, you know, that ended with a little conspiracy as well. So I mean, it was, you know, top to bottom, it was a great card. You guys should have been there. It was a pretty packed house. So that's always nice. But, you know, like I said, this, you know, in a couple weeks on the 23rd, that's going to be the show to come to because pretty much
Is there
everything
one this
on the
coming
line.
Saturday? Is there a show this Saturday?
No. I'm used to this. Every Saturday there's a show, so I almost said it. But no, we actually got a couple weeks off. So, you know, that way we can all be prepared. Because I'll tell you, you know, when it comes to me and Kowalski, I'm going to bring everything. Because, you know, I held that title for over 500 days. And it was told to me that if you had cut out the time that SICW shut down for the pandemic, If you cut that portion out, I'm the longest reigning champion of that SICW has had, and I would like I like a second run with it. What they always say that once you have the gold, that's all you can look for. Because you had it. You know what it's like to be the champion and have the company, hold you up. And that's what I want again. But, Bobby's 2 out of 3 falls matches with Glenn, that show already, that's 3 matches on that card that's going to blow the doors off the place.
Unless I just beat him 2 in a row and then we're done.
But I'm sure you're going to make it a great, exciting match.
Yeah, it's at least 2 good matches.
Well, I figure you're going to win twice, and there's going to be a disqual on another one just because Lilith is going to come out and help him.
Well, I don't know. I don't think Lily will come out, or Lilith will come out to help. More like Trent, or more like his, manager Sean Vincent. But still, Bobby's got to watch out for those 2. They're, just to move off of SICW for a second. I do want to give props to another Missouri, local federation that Missouri has, WLW. They had a show also Saturday, and the NWA came to town for their show and I think we spoke about it before, that there was rumors that WLW was going to be part of the NWA territories, and they made it official Saturday. So they had an anniversary show because it was 25 years that WLW has been going on. About half the time as SICW. But WLW was formed by, Mr. NWA right there in a Harley race. And for his organization to be part of the NWA, I think is probably rightfully deserved. And I know NWA has got, some people think it's going to fold. Some people are really thinking it's going to do great. I'm happy for all wrestling. If Billy Corgan can get a TV deal, a decent TV deal, I think they got a shot. Especially, I think the WWE kind of just took from the NWA, because this is like the 4th indie circuit that the NWA has attached themselves to. And, we talked about it last week here that WWE is doing that now too, where they attach themselves to, I forgot what they call it on the title, but it's basically the independent circuit for Seth Rollins. He has an organization that he has back where he lives. And was it Booker T has a school, and then also Cody Rhodes has got a school. So, and they do shows. So it looks like, WWE's kind of fallen into the NWA's footsteps there. But I wanted to give WLW a shout out. So they already announced that a lot of their talent, like Trevor Rhodes, is always going to be there. He's from that area too. But they're saying that the world champion's going to come there. EC3 is going to walk through there. So it's going to be great. Brandon Bretta, one of our guys, he's already part of the NWA circuit. And so now he gets to go to the WLW as well and wrestle there. So, I just got to give him shouts out. Right now, the wrestling world is really good. And the more promotions that can get attached to the main 3, the better off. I always talk about it. My age, though, is kind of aging me out. But I love to give props to the new guys, Brandon and Joey and Austin. I always butcher his last name, Mulitalo. Did I say it right?
You did.
And all three of those guys can be seen every now and then working security for AEW. Of course, like I said, Brandon, Joey tags along with Brandon sometimes when he's working the NWA or working for OVW, which there's rumors going around that OVW, they're closely associated with the NWA. EC3 is always, when EC3 was their heavyweight champion, which he just lost the belt to, I'm going to say his name is Tom Latimer. I probably butchered his last name too. But EC3 was always down at OVW defending the NWA title. And then a lot of the NWA guys was on OVW's TV. So there's rumors going around that they too might be like the fifth organization to follow underneath the NWA banner, which, we've been talking about trying to get a territory system back up and running, if it was going to work, if it's not going to work. Even Herb tried to do a territory system a few years ago. And that's kind of when MMWA was working with SICW, and they were working with New Breed, and they were working with ACW, because they had tag team titles that were being defended through all the organizations. And me and Waco at the time were the tag champions. And so we would defend it at New Breed and defend it at MMWA and defend it at SICW. And Herb is still trying to work with other promotions. There's a new promotion opening up, kind of like in the Alton area, and they're going to be a little further away as well. I forgot the names of the cities that they were talking about, but they want to work with Herb as well. So he's going to allow some of the wrestlers that want to work the area to go there and work. So, we got some of our guys still working New Breed. Some of the guys are working WLW. Some of the guys are working ACW. So we kind of started a little territory system, but we're not attached to like a WWE or NWA.
But we are attached to the AIWF.
Yeah, which is an international wrestling federation. So, yeah, I mean, wrestling is hot, and wrestling goes through stages where it's hot for a few years, and then it kind of goes away, and then it's hot for a few years, and right now I think we're kind of like in a boom stage again. And speaking of boom stage and making money, this past weekend, WWE had their Crown Jewel event, which is in Saudi Arabia. But I don't know, Bobby, if you caught any of the matches. I've only caught a few. I kind of skimmed through some of them, and then, watched some of the other, not podcasts, but wrestling channels talking about certain matches. And I kind of dove a little deeper into it today at work. And so they announced that the Saudi Arabia is going to have their own heavyweight champion and their own women's champion. And down to the men, it was going to be Cody Rhodes versus Gunther for the men's heavyweight champion. And then it was Nia Jax versus, who's that short blonde from?
Liv Morgan?
Yes. Those two were going at for the women's. And I tell you, I thought it was a little funny that, they went over there, and those are all four of them are champions. Gunther's the champion for Raw. Cody's the champion for SmackDown. And it goes with the same with the women. But the titles they won, and the titles will stay there because they have a WWE Experience Center that you can go in and experience what it is to see Andre the Giant and his hands and his, they got his boots there, and it's if you ever seen the WWE Experience, it's kind of cool, really, because they have like different backdrops that they used to have, like Piper's Pit, the barber shop and stuff like that you can actually walk around and take pictures. But so they have an experience there, and they went ahead and made championship belts. And those championship belts are bigger and more shinier than their respective champions right now. So Cody Rhodes has, the big W Undisputed Championship belt. Well, the belt that he won, because he won his match against Gunther, is like twice the size of their regular championships. And I just thought it was so weird that their belts are so much bigger. And I thought it was funny that the belts will only get defended over there. So, even if Cody Rhodes loses the SmackDown championship, when they go back to Saudi Arabia, he's still the champion over there. So he'll have to defend that belt over there. So it's going to make it a little weird, especially, if Roman Reigns gets the title off of Cody over here. That means you'll have 2 championship matches going. Well, actually, you'll have 4 could have 4 because if Gunther loses the belt, well, I guess it's still only 2 because Gunther isn't a champion over there. So it's just going to make it a little bit confusing, I guess. But I dove a little deeper into that deal that the WWE has with Saudi Arabia. And they had a 10-year contract. And I think it goes until 2027 or 2028 still. And they have to do 2 shows a year over there. And for each show, Saudi Arabia gives them $50 million. Yes. And that's a 10-year contract. So that's $100 million a year that they just get for going over to Saudi Arabia. And kind of leads me to, they just let 3 people go over the weekend. They let 2 girl wrestlers go, and they let, what's his name, Baron Corbin go. And, most of the time, when they let wrestlers go, it's always because they're trying to cut costs or something like that. Well, between the Saudi Arabia money and the Netflix deal that they got, WWE does not need to let anyone go because of trying to cut costs anymore. So, I was never really a Baron Corbin fan. And I think that might be the reason why he was let go. But the 2 girls were still in like NXT, and they were trying to get out of NXT to the main roster. So they didn't really get established yet. So it just makes me wonder why they got let go. But I kind of understood Baron Corbin. I mean, he had 14 years in the WWE, which in wrestling terms, that's a long time. Because some people, when you get up to the show, as they call it, some people only get 1 or 2 years or 3 years. It's very rare that you get like an Undertaker that's there 25, 30 years. Or, I think Randy Orton's got the longest tier right now, being an active wrestler. And then it comes down to like, John Cena's been there pretty a long time. And I actually researched that a little bit. Randy Orton debuted before John Cena, which, I didn't think, I knew they were in the same class back in OVW. It was Randy Orton, it was John Cena, it was Batista. They were all in Shelton Benjamin, Brock Lesnar. They were all in the same class. But it was so long ago, I couldn't tell you which one debuted first. I remember watching, Brock Lesnar wrestle dark matches. And I remember Batista when he was the Deacon Batista for, what was his name?
Devon.
And so it didn't dawn on me that Randy Orton actually debuted before John Cena did, because John Cena was always the person to beat in the WWE. He was like the fan favorite. But yeah, right now Randy Orton I think has got the most time in, And I want to say it's right around the 20-year mark, if not a little bit more. But Baron, he had 14 years in, so he had a long stretch. And, he was able to do different roles, because I know he was like a commissioner. I couldn't tell if he was SmackDown or Raw, but he was a commissioner of one of the brands. He was a manager for a tag team and multiple tag team champions. He was just the NXT champion. He was the NXT tag team champion with Braun Breaker before he kind of debuted on the main roster. He won the Andre the Giant Battle Royal before. So, I mean, he's had a nice career, but they can't say that, they did it to cut costs. So they probably just didn't have anything else for him, or didn't think he can get to the next level and be like a championship, a heavyweight championship material. But I thought that was kind of, when I was diving into the amount of money that they were making off of Saudi Arabia, $50 million a show is just beyond words there. I mean, that's just crazy. But when they first started doing this Saudi Arabia stuff, I thought it was very cool, because sometimes they would do a lot of dream matches or a lot of return matches. They would take people out of retirement. Shawn Michaels, when he retired, he would never come out and wrestle again. But he got a very good payday, which I know he got $1 million for, to come out of retirement for one match where he tagged with Triple H versus Kane and The Undertaker, which in all regards it is a dream match, because, Shawn Michaels had been retired for so long, and Triple H was, part of the management team. So he had to come back and be a character on TV again to wrestle The Undertaker and Kane. And then that whole match was kind of a clusterfuck, because Triple H got hurt, and I believe King got hurt, and The Undertaker, this was his back part of the career where his matches weren't really doing too good anymore. So you had Shawn Michaels, who just came out of retirement, and all of a sudden he's got to put in the work because Triple H is hurt. But then you had other dream matches, Goldberg versus The Undertaker, and kind of the same ending. You had Goldberg, who you would always beat his head. He would headbutt the door before his match started. And, he was retired. So he'd come back for a Saudi Arabia paycheck. And when his match was about to start, he kept headbutting the door and actually gave himself a concussion. And then went out and wrestled. And he wrestled against The Undertaker, and he almost broke The Undertaker's neck. Because he was doing a move and dropped The Undertaker right on his neck. And so right there, The Undertaker is like, fuck you, and they started actually kind of going at it for a little bit until he realized that Goldberg was concussed. Because he said that as soon as he realized, he looked in Goldberg's eyes and seen his eyes were fucking glazed, he knew what was going on. And so they just tried to make the match work and end it. But all these dream matches they could have done with the money was cool, but now they're not doing any of those. They're not bringing anyone out of retirement to go over there. Let's see. I wrote down some things.
Well, do you guys think Saudi Arabia is going to be the new Japan? How everybody in the 80s and earlier than the 80s wanted to go to Japan to make the real money. You think Saudi Arabia is going to be that?
Well, yes and no. When you go to Japan, there's multiple companies you can work for, and all those companies will pay you good money. If Saudi Arabia is only hooked up with WWE, so you got to make it to WWE to make it to Saudi Arabia. So it's going to be harder to do it that way. Now, the legends, if they want to bring a legend out of retirement, they can pay them a good money to come in as long as they're related to WWE. Because like I said, they brought Shawn Michaels, who is attached to WWE because he's like the head of NXT. They brought Goldberg, but they had just signed him to a deal, because I think it was right before that match with The Undertaker or right after the match. They had him go against Brock, and he beat Brock Lesnar in like 30 seconds to become the Universal Champion. So as long as you're attached to the WWE somehow, I'm sure they'll bring you over to Saudi Arabia.
So we have.
Speaking of Goldberg, he announced that he plans a retirement match for next year. Now, I mean, technically he should have been retired a couple of times, and currently he should be retired. But wrestlers always think, and no, it's a good and a bad side. Wrestlers think they always got one more match in them. Like Hulk Hogan wants to have one more match, but man, he's had so many back surgeries and knee surgeries and hip surgeries. He can't have one more match. Ric Flair wanted to have one more match, and he had a fucking heart attack during his last match. But even after that, he wanted to not retire and go work for Carlos Colon or whatever his last name is in in Puerto Rico. I can't think of the call letters that they go under. But Carlos offered him a lot of money, and so he almost was going to say, well, that wasn't my last match. I'm going to go have one more match. But literally, he had a heart attack during his last match. But so everyone's kind of speculating if Goldberg is going to come back for WrestleMania 41 and have his retirement match during WrestleMania. But speaking of WrestleMania, The Rock is kind of in the bloodline situation sometimes. Right now he's not, but they've been talking about him going against Roman. That was supposed to be the big WrestleMania last year, but the Cody Rhodes thing kind of like stopped that from happening. So now there's still speculations that they're going to bring The Rock in for 41. But so far, The Rock has confirmed that he's not coming in for WrestleMania 41. But just because he says it doesn't mean it's not true. That it's true. So you never know if The Rock's going to show up. So there's like the hot rumors is Goldberg's retirement match. Is The Rock going to come out for 41? Speaking of Japan, I'm going to roll back a little bit. So All Japan Pro Wrestling has what they call a Triple Crown champion, and what's his name? The British Bulldog. His son, who's wrestled for WWE, is wrestled all around the world. He literally just became the Triple Crown champion for All Japan Pro Wrestling. So that's kind of cool. Yeah, if you ever search him on YouTube, he does, besides wrestling, he does a lot of MMA stuff, trains under MMWA. So he brings a lot of that back into the wrestling as well. And even when, like, if you catch any of his, what do you call it, seminars that he does for other organizations, he'll actually start teaching the wrestlers the importance of using MMWA moves in the matches. Let's see here. Demolition, Smash from Demolition. He just did an interview with Hitting the Turnbuckles. It's a podcast. Now, back in the 80s, early 90s, Demolition was like a really great tag team. And I've met both members, Axe and Smash. Very nice guys. I met them out in Iowa last 2 years in a row. They've both been out there. But they've never became, never inducted into the man, I can't fucking talk. Never been inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame yet. Now, before the New Day, which is a current wrestling, it used to be 3 guys, but now they're down to 2 because Big E can't wrestle anymore because he broke his neck. Before they were the tag champions, Demolition from the 80s was the longest reigning tag team champions, but they never were inducted into the Hall of Fame. And Smash was on this podcast, and he talked about that a few years ago they were part of a bunch of wrestlers got together to sue WWE, and they were suing them because of the whole independent contractor situations where they couldn't wrestle for other companies. And part of that, whatever you call it, that case, was also because of there was no concussion protocol or injury. Once you got injured, there's a good chance that you're going to get fired or let go because you couldn't work no more. Because back in the day, if you didn't work, you didn't get paid. So a lot of people, if they were hurt, they just wrestled anyway, even if they were hurt. And so they were actually, and as part of this group of wrestlers that were suing the WWE. And he kind of came forward and said that was probably why they were never inducted into the Hall of Fame. And last year, well, technically this year, it was this year's WrestleMania, so WrestleMania 40. Triple H was in charge, and Triple H actually reached out to them about them going into the Hall of Fame this year. But they actually had to decline it because they were already promised to go work this other organization. And they said that their word meant a lot, so they wanted to keep their word to this organization. So look for them to kind of more than likely be inducted in the next couple of years, if not next year in 2025, maybe 26, because Triple H is, as we know, he's the one that's running the shots right now, and Triple H reached out to him. So that's kind of cool that Triple H is doing that. Let me see. Anything else I wrote down here? Got 50 million a show. Yep. So that's pretty much all I got. So props to WLW for being attached to the NWA now. Like I said, SICW has got our biggest show. It's going to be on the 23rd of November, back at the fairgrounds. Talked about I don't know anything new about AEW. Nothing was on the hot sheets about them, so I don't know if anything cool is going on with them or not, but evidently not cool enough to make it on the internet to talk. Well, there was one thing, I guess. Kenny Omega, he's been out on the shelf for a while, but it looks like he might be coming back. But before he goes back to AEW, he too is going to go to Japan and wrestle. This is the hearsay that he's going to do a show in Japan first and then come back to AEW. But man, that's pretty it. I know I kind of wrapped things up, but before the show started tonight, Bobby was talking about his new box. Bobby gets a box every month. I don't know what it's from. Shop Zone or you know what, before I get to that, Bobby, let me take that one back. There is something I wrote down and I guess I bypassed it.
He's teasing you, Bob.
Yeah, I know. So I don't know if this is
never.
I don't think this is a podcast. I think it's just might be like a wrestling news source on YouTube or .com something, but it's called WrestleNomics. Evidently, they had the numbers for the Shop Zone, who was the top selling merchandiser for the month of October, and they announced that Jey Uso was the top one. He sold more merch in WWE in the month of October than CM Punk and Roman Reigns combined. He was the top merch guy. Now, there is another guy that I kind of follow on TikTok, who talks wrestling news, and he brought this up too. But he said the funny thing about him being the number one seller was both CM Punk and Roman Reigns didn't wrestle in October. So he just threw that out there, because CM Punk had that last match with what's that English guy or the British guy?
Scottish guy.
Yeah, he's Scottish. Comes to the ring with a big ass sword sometimes.
Come on, Jim.
He wears a kilt. I know everyone watching this is probably going to say his name right off the bat. Anyway, they wrestled in a steel cage match, and they just beat the living piss out of both of each other. And so CM Punk hasn't wrestled since then. And, of course, Roman just came back to wrestling this weekend because he was out after he lost to Cody Rhodes.
Drew McIntyre.
At WrestleMania. Huh?
Drew McIntyre.
Drew McIntyre, yes. Yeah, so I just want to throw that out there. Okay, so
Bobby was letting you sweat for you teasing his box.
yeah. So Bobby, what was in the box this month?
The big thing would be that autograph. Nasty Boy Brian Skaggs, or is it Brian Skaggs or just Skaggs? I don't know his first name. And then they give you some like little knickknacks in there, like a little Dan Houser guy. And
that's pretty awesome, though.
Thunder Rosa sticker. Some Latino heat. It's a pin, like a shirt pin.
Oh, that's cool.
Eddie Guerrero.
Hey, it's kind of cool that they're bringing back Eddie Guerrero stuff.
Yeah. I say, and then going back to more old would be a little Hardy Boys flag.
Nice.
That's it.
Oh,
just the autograph,
about a
some
shirt?
little knick-knack things, and
wasn't there a shirt that you talked about too?
Oh yeah, I'm wearing it. Forgot about it. It's Chris Jericho's Rock and Wrestling Crew shirt.
Speed Ball.
Now, I mean, you can plug the box because what you said before the show started. How much was that shirt?
The shirt's $50 shirt.
And how much is the box that you buy a month?
32 or 33.
So, I mean, that's a great plug for that box. So he spent $32 on this box, and it automatically out the gate came with a shirt that cost $50.
Yeah.
But he got pins, he got an autographed picture. So Pro Wrestling Crate. I know WWE does
We are
their
not
own
sponsored,
version.
people, so we get nothing for it. We just like it.
Right. I know WWE, they used to do a box, or maybe they still do a box. And I know AEW does a box. So it's kind of cool. $50 right out of the gate. You get a $50 T-shirt, and you only pay $32 for the box, and you get a signed autograph picture and a couple other knickknacks. So I mean, and if you're a wrestling fan, that's kind of cool.
I say the autograph pictures and the shirts are what I do it for.
Yeah, so it's
To me,
Brian
that's worth
Knobs.
the
Brian Knobs, and I can't think of the other guy's first name, but then it's something Staggs. Brian Knobs and something Staggs. But I mean, if you guys know the name of the guy in the picture from the Nasty Boys, put it down in the comment section. That way
Come
we
on,
get a
Ruby.
little fan interaction there. There you go. Oh yeah, blonde hair. Does he have blonde hair?
No, that's the dark hair one.
That's
Okay.
dark, yeah. I do want to say something that's bugging me since you said it, Jim. I want to just emphasize that Davey Boy Smith Jr. has no affiliation with MMWA, didn't train with MMWA, and does not use any MMWA moves. It's MMA.
Yeah.
Oh,
We're not giving that organization any credit for anything.
well, I will give him credit for two things. They brought me and Waco back, and we had a nice run, whether it was together or separate. separate, and then even Bobby had a nice run. So got to give him props for that. But that was under the old management. Now,
I was only
Bobby
strictly
does-
saying about present management.
Right. So Bobby does a box, and he does that once a month. I try to do something with my figure itch, as they call it. And I did
Your figure itch.
figure itch. This, my friends, is also a $50 box. But for some strange reason, see, I watch this guy on YouTube, and he goes around to different. Huh?
Froggy.
Well, I do watch Froggy. He doesn't really. He does a lot of yard sales, and he does a lot of like conventions. But this guy strictly goes to thrift places. Like here in Belleville, there's what's the name of the thrift shop here in Belleville? It used to be across the street from our old work, where your current work still. It's not there no more. Now it's Napa. But
I don't know. It's my hobby. It's not work.
yeah. Okay, well.
But it's Goodwill.
Goodwill. And so I watch him, and every Friday he does 5 Goodwill stores. So just out of the blue, I stopped by one. And this, like I said, this is He-Man. And, lately here I've been kind of getting on the He-Man kick. But this $50 box at Goodwill, they had it for $15.99. And I just happened to stop on the day that this yellow tag was 50% off. So I got it for $8 and some change. But the reason I got it is for an odd looking figure. He's kind of cool looking, but he's a pig. And I've never even heard of any 3 of these guys from He-Man. They were definitely not the 80s He-Mans. This is Rulers of the Sun. This is Sunman and Space Sumo, and the other guy is Pighead. And I got him for Pighead. That guy looks kind of cool, but and I when I bought it, first thing I did was I scanned it just to see what eBay was still selling them for, and eBay is still selling them for $50. Now in my head, they had 3 more in there, and I was thinking, man, I literally could just go back in there and buy the other 3 and sell those bitches on eBay. But I haven't figured that part out yet. I buy from eBay, but I've never sold anything off of eBay. But man, it's tempting to create an account and start selling my LJNs that I have the doubles of now.
You should. It'd be your little side hustle.
Right. I've got so many wrestlers, because I think last week or the week before I told you how my youngest son, who is totally out of wrestling now, has kind of donated all his stuff to me. So there's probably like 150 wrestlers of the new style of wrestling that I don't even collect, that now I have 150 of them. Kind of like your sons, because I know you got, Bobby, your sons have got hundreds of wrestlers, of the newer age wrestlers. I'm kind of still stuck in the 80s. I'm still trying to collect the LJNs and the Rimco from AWA. But so I don't even know what these guys are worth, or how many doubles I have of that, or what. But I thought about it, and I told Amy, I was like, my doubles I can just bring to the shows and try to sell them off there. I think I might have mentioned it on the podcast too. But I'm just, if I see them on eBay, or if I see them at the flea market and they're cheap and they might be better than the ones I have at home, I'll buy them and replace them, those, and they make it to the glass shelves, and I take the other ones off, So I think eventually I'll probably do that, where I'll have my own table just full of old wrestling stuff that I sell at the shows. besides, the regular merch of my T-shirts and my photos and stuff like that. You never
You
know.
should, especially on the 23rd.
That's true. Yeah, because I tell you, that's going to be a madhouse right there, and it's going to be an awesome show. But anything else from you guys, Bobby, Nate?
Jerry sags.
Jerry, there you go.
No,
It's
I
nice
looked
having
up
that computer right in front of you that you can look that up, right?
I thought I figured it out.
Oh, yeah. Nate,
I looked
anything
up the
new?
original 80s figures, and none of those guys were on them. But when you go to Goodwill, if you see a Castle Gray skull, those are selling for $250 a piece. So get one of those.
I mean, it's very rare that I find anything good whenever I stop at a Goodwill or anything like that. Sometimes if I get the little wire up my ass or something like that, I'll stop and I'll pick something up for my grandkids, or my boy's current girlfriend, their kids or whatever. I mean, they must love me to be the grandfather because I'm a toy guy, and like I did go to a couple yard sales Saturday, and I go looking for myself. Amy with me, and she looks for herself. We didn't buy anything for ourselves. We came back with 6 trash bags full of toys for the grandkids, and 3 bags of it was just Batman. And there's Batman and the different other guys, because they had, of course, the Batman, the Robin, and Joker, but there was a lot of Marvel and like Wolverine was in there, and that rock guy, I think they call him the Thing, maybe. I'm not a whole. Yeah, so I'm not like cultured into that stuff, but if I like it and I think they'll like it, I buy it anyway. So, and literally, their toy room upstairs is just full and full. I mean, you can barely walk through it. They literally had to take a bunch of toys down to our basement. So they kind of got like a second toy room in the basement. So, it's, they got their
rich government guys.
Well, I wouldn't say that. I just know if I can find a good deal, I'm gonna buy it, and I love doing that. I would love to actually one day be able to quit my full-time job. Well, actually, it's a pretty easy full-time job, but I would love to, do like the Froggy Flips guy, where he buys and just resells, toys and stuff like that. I think that would just be cool. It's very hard to do because they'll tell you, a lot of them that I follow on YouTube, they'll say, sometimes there's a downside where you're not making anything, so you got to learn to put some stuff back, money wise, put some stuff back for the times that you're not selling on eBay, or, it's the winter time, so they don't have a comic book convention that you can sell your stuff at, but if you're good enough, you'll make your money. But I think that'll be kind of cool, even as a side gig. But enough of me running my mouth. I do want to say thank you guys who subscribed over the last week, because we definitely rose the numbers again. We're still shooting for the 500. I think we're sitting at like 440 now, 441, something like that.
Check.
And I even moved up. How much?
447.
So we even moved up further than when I last looked. And even my personal YouTube is it's like hitting I'm at like 778, I think, 779 subscribers. But I post a lot of SICW, and I post a lot of the Squared Ring stuff. And you can hit us up on Facebook, the Squared Ring Podcast, and Instagram, the Squared Ring Podcast. Nathan likes to post on that. I post all of our videos. So if you missed us on YouTube, search it on Facebook, because I post all of our videos on Facebook as well. And then I try to tag whoever we talk about. So if we talk about Billy McNeil on one episode. I'll tag him so he can kind of get some followers under his Facebook account and stuff like that. We're talking about Brandon Beretta, people like that. I always try to include them so they can get some followers from us to hit them on their personal pages. But I want to thank the subscribers that 447. Ever since we came off of this block that the WWE kind of put us on, even though we talk nice about them sometimes, they still blocked us and created a time period where we weren't being seen. No one could subscribe. No one can watch. And I'm glad we kind of broke free from that, because now our subscriber count's climbing. We're getting over 1,000 views on some of the matches. Like the Ric Flair match, I know it's got over 1,000. The Brody matches are coming back up. I know you released a Buddy Rogers, the first Nature Boy. You reposted that one too on our Facebook group, because I want to see those numbers climb. But thank you guys. And if you think your friends will like this podcast, please share the podcast. We want to build this up as much as we can, because we try to hit a lot of the local places, New Breed, and we talk about ACW and WLW. So the local area of the wrestling, and SICW, even though it's local to St. Louis, it's all across the country, because they get 4,000 views, and I know we don't have 4,000 people showing up to the fairgrounds. Would love it, trust me, we would love it. But I know a lot of you guys watch it in New York and down in Florida. And, when we hit Vegas for the, CACs, a lot of people were talking about it out there. So I know SICW is a national company when it comes to being on YouTube. And we want to bring that even further. So if we can piggyback off of SICW, or they can piggyback off of us and grow both channels, or our personal channels even more, that's what we want to do, because we want to be here. We have fun every time we do this. I know Bobby likes to skip out on us sometimes, but he's a busy man. When you have 700 kids, he's teaching kids. Not that he's got some. He's not Nate. Well, no, we won't go back into that. Anyhow, just thank you guys for subscribing. Thank you for the views, and let's keep it going. And please, we'd love to, if you comment, we love to talk with you guys. So please comment, write us something. We'll love to reach back out to you. But if no one has anything else, going once, going twice. All right. Well, thank you for watching the Square Ring podcast. And until we meet again, we'll see you later.
See ya.
Peace.